RP the Flipper.
Metro, Zay, Long Lil Dolph.
Gucci. Dolph.
R.I.P. the Flipper, a money getting nigga. Had to blaze one up for Dolph. Don't think they felt you like I feel them. Same niggas wanna be the one that come to kill you. Now don't that sound familiar? Your name they gon' remember. Can't be quiet and go silent like violent. We still outside, hurting me inside. I can't hide it, it's hard to hide. Been a trap rapper, it's a miracle if you survive. Every day I pray and thank the Lord that I'm still alive. When it comes to legend, Dolph forever in my top 5. Real life street nigga, never had to tell lies. Remember, used to rap about weed, eat and sell pie. Fresh as young nigga on the scene, had his own style. Don't take your life for granted, could be gone in seconds. R.I.P. the Dolph, long live the legend. From Memphis to the 6, they felt you in the bricks. The days you died, it broke my heart. A day I won't forget. One thing you know you miss, one thing you know we piss. It's paper route forever. You know what gon' represent. You know Glock gon' represent. Lil Trey gon' represent. I done shed so many tears I had to hit the mic and vent. I pull up, it's an event. We pull up, this how it went. Through so much money and magic, bitches say we pay they rent. $1 million cost no tent. We scratched off like where they went. Know your legacy gon' live on, know exactly what you meant. When it comes to independent, man, you are the president. For putting on your relative, showing love when hesitant. Trying to find a positive, but it's only negative. So much hate and envy out here, I don't got too much to give. So this is how it is, gotta die to get your prop. Never get your flowers while you're here, and damn that sells a lot. All this senseless violence that I'm seeing, I swear it needs to stop. Humans killing other human beings almost round the clock. In a circle in the block. Drop the top, this time for Dolph. Every time you see Goo Wop this summer, you gon' see it off. Then be careful and stay dangerous every time I leave the house. The odds stacked against you in the hood, we tryna make it out. Backseat of my Rolls Royce found, I'm playing paper out. Like since Dolph died, that's all I'm bumping, I can't take it out. Never leave the house without, never do stunt moves for clout. If you all about your paper route, then roll one up for Dolph. Chopper on my couch, peas all around my house. Young nigga, I be fresh as fuck, reminding you of Dolph. That bitch from the south, my name in her mouth. This bitch here about her paper routes, her favorite rapper Dolph.
Miss you, homie. The whole world miss you. I lost a friend. I lost a homie. The world lost a friend. Lost a father and a son. Damn.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Listen, I wanted to start this off just right. All right. So, not only are we going to allow that song to play, you know, Long Live Dolph or whatnot, I also want to play this one, which, you know, before we get started, as we allow people to enter on into the room, and then we're going to get started. Got some breaking news about this Young Dolph situation. But this is a very good, interesting song made by Dolph called Preach. Listen to the words.
If you will turn on your radio, any Negro revival meeting on a Sunday night, you will hear glossolalia. When the preacher starts talking sensibly, but the congregation gets more and more enthusiastic. Amen. Yes, Lord. And it works up the preacher so that by the time he's through, have turned into not only poetry, but beyond poetry into music.
Say Calvin.
Hey. You know what up? It's out. Say what's poppin'.
I don't fuck with these niggas cause they shady. These bitches, they just wanna have my baby. Born in the 80s, crack baby. Mama, she was in the street, so guess who raised me? You motherfucking right, couldn't get it from my mama, so I got it off the block. Been working my whole life, but I ain't never punched a clock. 9 years old, I seen a nigga get shot. Damn. Niggas quick to run their mouth when they get jammed. Pussy ass nigga tell it on his own fam. The same nigga that you break your neck for. Be the same nigga that cross you out and wet you up. Supposed to be chasing money, but you chasing bitches. Real bosses don't talk, we just sit back and listen. Stack that paper up and then make boss moves. She like to argue, so I sent that bitch to law school.
Keep it real with your dog no matter what.
Same bitch that claim she love you, she'll set you up. Preach.
Out here in these streets, it ain't no such thing as love.
Preach. The only thing I trust is this pistol and these slugs. Preach.
Real nigga shit, only when I do speak.
If that nigga don't work, he'll fucking leech. Preach.
I ain't got shit for a nigga, ain't nothing in this motherfucking world free.
Preach. Zay got the motherfucking bass thumping. Dolph got the motherfucking trap jumping. Doors to the trap open, now I tell you something. Hell no, don't ask, I ain't frontin' nothing. Hell no. I fucked your bitch and told her I see you around. Dolph just skipped town with 200,000. Dolph just pulled an 8 in a 2-liter pop. They say Dolph addicted to these streets just like his pops. Addicted to hustling, I can't stop. Won't stop. Can't stop. Never hear me complain about what I ain't got. Cause if I want it, I'ma go get it. Yeah. Free my nigga, yo, did it. Got paper round tatted on your whole titty. Same nigga you getting high with, he really your enemy. Every day niggas cross their partners out for Benjamin.
Keep it real with your dog no matter what.
Same bitch that claim she love you, she'll set you up.
Out here in these streets, it ain't no such thing as love.
The only thing I trust is this pistol and these slugs.
Real nigga shit, only when I do speak.
If that nigga don't work, he'll fucking leech.
I ain't got shit for a nigga, ain't nothing in this motherfucking world free.
Welcome into the Leak You live stream today, guys. Glad you guys were able to make it. And, I wanted to come up and provide an update. I've been following the Young Dolph case. Shannon, hello. It's so good to see you. I'm glad you were able to make a live stream, babe. How have you been? Happy New Year to you. It's good to see you, babe. So, guys, I have a little bit of an update here I wanted to share with you guys. As you all know, we have been covering the murder of Young Dolph since it happened. And thanks to many of you out there, many of you sleuthers, many of you sleuthettes, you web sleuths, I count myself as one of those. You all, many of you guys, your work has paid off. Due to much of the work that has been done out here by bloggers such as myself. I can name a couple other bloggers, but there's been some solid ones and some that have just been in it for the clout chasing. But overall, it was a really good moment when authorities came out and said that they had identified a suspect. More importantly, Straight Droppp, the so-called rapper Straight Droppp, right? I think that's what he raps under that name or whatnot. And he uses, of course, in his name, he uses, I believe, a couple of different P's, right? 3 of them exactly. And again, this man okay, Straight Drop, was somehow affiliated. I don't know like what that affiliation was between him and Dolph, but it's obvious that there's evidence that, and there's a lot of reasons, guys, on why this evidence has pinpointed this man, Justin Johnson, aka Straight Drop. Truth of the matter is, he actually the same home where the car was found that was involved in the murder, the assassination of Young Dolph, was located at a home in Memphis, Tennessee. And it happened to be the same home where a rapper, Straight Drop, had, and JoJo Splat, even for that matter, had done a music video in front of. And even, not even 24 hours, by the way, after this car was located, a body dropped at that same location. We do know for a fact there was 2 shooters involved in this assassination of this man, this businessman, pioneer, probably the highest level of celebrity in Memphis, Tennessee, no question. The amount of grief that is poured out from that city's crying. That city is wailing in grief ever since this happened. And so it was really, it was quite a breaking, quite breaking news when authorities came out and said, hey, we have identified Justin Johnson, also known as Straight Drop, as a suspect. And not only is he a suspect, he has actually been charged with first-degree murder. He's on the run from several warrants involving first-degree murder, attempt first-degree murder as well, violation of his current parole. This man, it's quite amazing. He just got out of prison, okay, for another violent situation. This man has a very violent history, and he's only 23 years old. But needless to say, Young Dolph was in Memphis during the Thanksgiving holidays because he was going to do a turkey Thanksgiving giveaway. And he was then shot in Makita's cookie store. Hey, Cass. Hey, Stephanie K. Yes, I did see that interview. Yes, I did. It was his language said a whole lot. It sure did. From what I understand, the streets have been on fire, and we've been plugged into the streets of Memphis. We've got some connects out there in Memphis as well. Shout out to Nisi on that. I'm sure she'll probably hear this. But shout out to a few of you guys out in the Memphis area that have reached out to me and have been able to give me, a feel of what is actually going on in that city right now. And here's where things stand. Authorities in Tennessee are offering a $15,000 reward for information leading to the man suspected of fatally shooting Young Dolph. Memphis Police Department issued a first-degree murder warrant for Justin Johnson, age 23. The U.S. Marshals Service has announced this. Now, Johnson already has an outstanding warrant for violating federal supervised release after a weapons offense. Now, this is according to a statement from the Marshals Service. Since the issuance of this murder warrant, U.S. Marshals and Memphis PD have been extensively searching for Johnson. Okay. He has been added to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's most wanted list. He has ties to criminal gangs and should be considered armed and dangerous. Now, Young Dolph was 36 years old, whose name was Adolph Robert Thornton Jr. He was in Memphis again for his annual turkey giveaway for Thanksgiving when he stopped by the well-known Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies Bakery and was then shot and killed inside that bakery and was pronounced dead at the scene. I want you to see this.
Major choice?
Of course, they would give us a commercial, huh?
You simply
and 5G coverage that goes yard. T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, most reliable 5G network.
Tonight, these images have been shared countless times, more than 65,000 shares from the Memphis Police Department's Facebook page. Two men wielding guns were seen getting out of this white two-door Mercedes-Benz. Authorities say they are suspects in the shooting death of rapper Young Dolph.
That it doesn't sit well with me, man. We have to do better.
University of Memphis head basketball coach Penny Hardaway and others continue to mourn the husband and father of two, shot while inside Makita's cookie shop.
Well, this is tragic, but it's normalcy in Memphis now, tragically. Young Dolph tried to live a good life, be a good parent, good father, but made violence in Memphis, which violence has become a normality.
The city of Memphis is inching closer to more than 300 homicides this year. Tamika Greer with Memphis Artists for Change says new innovative approaches are needed to fight crime.
To those who are directly impacted, and even being bold enough and courageous enough to talk to some perpetrators of violence. If you want to solve this problem, we're going to have to do things we've never done before.
Greer says Young Dolph was scheduled to attend an event for children of incarcerated parents in December. Instead, the authorities are searching for his killers.
All right. A lot of us here, a lot of the fans feel like this $15,000 reward doesn't mean anything. But let me tell you, when this happened, it's no secret that there was a $500,000. Actually, my understanding there was a $1 million bounty, a street bounty, of course, for the murderer of Droppp. So I sort of look at it like this. If the streets get Justin Johnson before authorities do, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you on that. But first-degree murder, criminal attempt first-degree murder, and theft of property, $10,000 to $60,000. He should be considered armed and dangerous, okay? Now, if you hear this, and I know many of you are plugged in, $10,000, even $15,000 or even $5,000, it sure could help. If you know where Justin Johnson is, authorities are asking you to turn him in. Period. One fan posted, quote, "I don't care how much money it is. I ain't talking to no police, but Young Dolph is worth way more than $15,000. If them clown ass folks want answers, they need to turn that into $500,000. Truth of the matter is, the day after this murder happened, a $1 million bounty was put on the head of these murderers in the streets. Period. I'm just telling you what I know. And the man that many of you sleuthers, through the work of working with you guys and, some of the work of some of you other bloggers, and even here in the Leak You community, we were able to identify this man. We were able to identify even one of the shooters was wearing a Bass Pro hat. We were able to identify not only the hat, but a potential man, I should say, that was wearing that hat at a music video that was done at the same home where the two-door Mercedes car was located at. They did a music video not too long before Young Dolph's death at that same exact location. And not only was the car tied to Dolph's murder, okay, and parked at that location, that car was also, the authorities were looking for that vehicle for another murder that had happened. I believe it was like in Covington Ridge or something to that effect. But let's just say, straight Droppp, he knows authorities are looking for him. He's very much aware of this. And what's really cold about it is he has definitely been out here posting on his Instagram page, even though he knows federal authorities are looking. He has even went so far. He went so far to post something saying that the criminal history being talked about on the news reports is not accurate and that people should stop the BS. Not to mention the fact he then posts, quote, turning myself in Monday at 2:01. I'm innocent. I'll be back sooner than you can blink. I reached out to Straight Drop, and hopefully he'll hear this message if possible. And my offer still stands. If you do plan on talking or doing any interviews before you turn yourself in, if you feel like you need to get your word out or get whatever you need to get out, I am offering my platform, and I can set up and accommodate some secure methods in which we could definitely do an interview in a secure manner, encrypted. No one would be able to intercept those communications or those transmissions. That offer still stands. I left my business number. I'm sure he's getting a lot of DMs, but search him for Leak You, because we would love to hear what you have to say or to do a really quick interview with you before you turn yourself in to authorities. So we'd like to get, we'd like to get an understanding from you on why, you're innocent, that, you say you're innocent, but they're saying you're not. So you know how it is when you get locked up, you're not going to be able to really talk like you want to, right? Now, I don't know if he has an attorney at this point, but he is saying he's going to turn himself in Monday. Kind of amazing that, the U.S. Marshals are actually looking for him. And when the U.S. Marshals are on the hunt for a murder suspect, they're going to be doing all sorts of really strange things to try to get, to get that suspect. They love to kick the doors in, in the middle of the night, in the very early morning hours. There's eyes everywhere. Every tip, is something that they follow up with, right? So the last thing, Straight Drop, that anybody wants to see, because obviously if you're still alive and the streets didn't get you yet, the last thing we want to see is, you get murdered and you haven't even had an opportunity to tell your side or tell your story. But there are some questions like, what's up with the music video that was done at the same location where the house or where the car was dropped off? Those sorts of things. And then, of course, a body dropped less than 24 hours after the car was found. It was crazy. We're talking about the same exact location, that particular house. I've heard all sorts of rumors. I choose not to partake in those rumors. But what's crazy, it's like, okay.
What he did and said, you don't need to indict me. I'll agree to my charges. Because he had no record, he was range 1, which is 3 to 6 years. Because there were 3 people involved, he pled guilty to 5 years in prison and agreed not to ask for probation. He agreed to go to prison.
Kraft says because Johnson was so well behaved in prison, he was given probation and released.
After 6 months, he filed a petition to ask for probation because he'd done all these classes and he'd gotten arranged to have a job with a painting company when he got out and done all this, and came to court. And everyone agreed. We didn't even have a hearing. Everyone agreed that he had no record, that he admitted to what he did, and he had done all this stuff while in prison, and they agreed to put him on probation.
Quote, turning myself in Monday at 2:01. I'm innocent. Prayer hands. I'll be back sooner than you can blink. This man has been placed in prison before for this isn't the first incident of violence and murders and attempt to murder people. Okay. Again, I dropped a number, in the chat for you guys. And I also pinned a comment to my Discord. We actually have a Young Dolph thread within the Discord in which we're monitoring this story and updating as time goes on. And the truth is, we really don't want to see, we don't want to see, we don't want to see a young man murdered. If another man murdered, although some would say they wouldn't even care, truth be told. Then too, it's almost like kind of a smack in the face. It's like, damn, Dolph didn't get to choose and make any choices on the timing yet. You've known that the U.S. federal marshals have been looking for you, and basically he's telling them when he's going to turn himself in. It is what it is. I'd be interested to know, why he feels maybe there's some last minute items he's trying to finish up. I'm not sure, but that offer still stands. Straight Droppp. No judgment here. And I could definitely give you some publicity. And if you're interested, just respond to my messages. So we'll see what happens with that. But I wanted to come up here and update you guys on the latest on this story. He has not been captured yet. Okay. Not yet. Not yet. So I just wanted to come up here and do a really quick live. And I also sent a link to this video to Straight Droppp so that he could see it as well. I would think he's probably checking his messages, especially with everything that's going on. And it's such a horrible outcome for everyone. And, one of the main things or the main themes that seem to be so prevalent in this whole situation is how you cannot trust anybody, even those that are closest, that are, call themselves being in your circle, can't be trusted necessarily. And then one of the other problems that you really got to worry about is, let's say you do find somebody solid, right? And one of the things that, especially in this type of game, it's like, you find friends and your friends have friends, and then your friends bring their friends over. And the truth is, if the friend that you have picked or chosen is unable to really decipher, has horrible choice at picking solid people, truth of the matter is you've got to trust people that also are reserved and don't just become friends with everybody. You gotta, it's almost like a double, triple, quadruple way to sort of insulate yourself against a bunch of fuck shit. Because if you don't have friends that pick good friends, then you either need to cut that friend off, or you don't allow that friend to bring their friends around you. And you just have to be weary, because I'm telling you what I know. Anybody who's up and has a little bit of money, regardless of how or what, or, their career, there's envy in regards to the career, to how much money they got, blah, blah, blah. It just pick friends that can also pick good friends, and be mindful, especially for those of you out here on social media. A lot of us have these interactions on social media. And the truth is that it's extremely difficult, if not impossible, to find good, solid people. My rule of thumb, especially now, is if they don't have as much as you to lose, then leave them where they lay. So this is going to be a quick video. I just wanted to get this out to my crimes and investigations sleuthers, and just wanted to say, hey, you guys did a fantastic job. We had identified Straight Droppp as a potential suspect about 2 days after Dolph's murder. And I think for the first time in history that I've seen, we watched authorities have to use social media way more than in previous times in order, to capture their alleged killer, etc. But it just goes to show the level of impact social media has. So I'm hoping and I'm praying that this situation will end up well. I really do. I really do.
Omar, the director.
So with that being said, guys, listen, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and end this stream. This is not intended to be long. It was just more of an informational to those of you who have been following this story with me. And I just wanted to say thank you to the LeakU community for all of the sleuthing and the tips and, the tips that, a lot of the things that you all found, other people on social media were watching, they were seeing. And, we are just as much of a part of helping out in this situation. And so to the LeakU community, you guys should be really proud. You should be really proud. Y'all did that. Now, if we can only identify who was wearing that Brass Pro hat. With that said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this on the Crimes and Investigations channel. I will see you guys next time. We've got some additional crime and investigations content coming up tomorrow.